Welcome all of you. Welcome to the Nandip's The Hindu Analysis. Today, 23rd February, we are going to see some important news articles from the today's The Hindu newspaper. Let's begin it. There is very most important article that is come in the page of text and context, which talks about the US's law about the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. We are going to discuss about it in detail. Then there is a one news article on the FRP, fair remunerative price, which is given as an form of an MSP for the sugarcane. Then there is a one main leading article that came in context of India-UK strategic ties or the relation. Then there is a one small news piece article. These are the highlight with respect to the CPCB, like Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Boards. That is Vedanta. When there is a plant shutdown in the plant of Vedanta industry has been shut down. In that context, there is a one important piece article. So today there are three main important articles. One, that is European forced labor laws. Then regulatory environment for the space sector. Yesterday we have seen that government has liberalized the space sector completely in many ways. In form of, it has divided into three parts, which we are going to discuss in detail. What kind of industries, which we have already discussed yesterday, what kind of industries within the space sector has been given 100% FDI under automatic rules. Some industries has given the 74% and some industry has 49%. Then there is a India-UK strategic ties. These are the three important editorials. Then there is a one article which is in the science section, that is women of a ASHA workers, right? So they are overworked, underpaid and on the edge of a breakdown. We are going to discuss it also. More of a summary nature, but it is very important article. It will get to, like, you will get the different kind of perspective in the health sector, what is going on, right? In India, a bridging power in many ways, Minister of External Affairs. Here we have already seen that there is a Raisina dialogue going on in Delhi, where the different foreign dignitaries are coming along with sharing dice with the Minister of External Affairs or Security and Foreign Policy stakeholders, which is organized by the Observer Research Foundations, ORF, and the Ministry of External Affairs, both. So from that daily a new perspective is emerging, and the comment from the Minister of External Affairs has shedding some lights on the recent India's geopolitical strategy and foreign policy, etc. We are going to discuss about that. We have discussed one perspective yesterday. Then there is a bailing out of poor prisoners, which is yesterday, but due to some technical reasons it has been got delayed, and we are going to cover it today. Also there is a news article that on social media guidelines, where newspaper shares a picture where the Elon Musk, the owner of the Twitter, earlier Twitter, now X, and the Prime Minister Modi ji has shared dice and discussing about the something. So we are going to discuss on that social media guidelines. Let's begin. So today's first article is that in a tough world, the beacon of UK-India strategic ties. So we know India and UK where it stands, etc. What are the recent initiative, and what actually this article is talking about. So outward facing, mercantile and modern society. These are the common points the author talking about the India and the UK's relationship. That is, we are both outward facing, and mercantile means trade oriented, as well as the modern society, right? He also talks about that global trade is predominantly a maritime activity, and this remains a fundamental truth in information age too. They are saying that even if this is the information age, this is the fourth industrial revolution age, still a global trade is predominant related to the maritime activity. The more and the more secure environment in the Indo-Pacific and the maritime domain, the more will be prosperous the trade, even if in the information age too. And hence data supporting the online banking and capital flows also moves via underwater cables. They are saying that how important this information age also impacting the maritime activity in a way that even the data, right, and the banking and the capital, etc., flows, information flows to the cables which are being laid down under the water in the oceans. Hence the maritime activity and maritime awareness, domain awareness and security is the paramount importance. Our nation need to secure and make the free from aggression and exploitation the global lifelines of goods and resources that flow across the sea and on each. So hence he's saying that the UK and India should come together in defense of the strategic paths of communication, maritime trade, maritime security, etc. Then there is a talks about the Operation Prosperity Guardian. We remember this can be asked in the prelim as well. What is the Operation Prosperity Guardian? Prosperity means we have to guard. Guardian means there are some countries has initiated this initiative in the Red Sea zone or Indo-Pacific, where the most of the shipping lines of the trade are been there, and they are come under the severe attack from the Hamas or the for that particular pirates, particularly Houthis, right? So Yemen Houthis. Hence, in that context, the US-led mission and the NATO-led missions have started the Operation Prosperity Guardian, where they aim to guard the prosperity which is flowing through the maritime trade, and UK is becoming partner to that. Here they said there is a four fundamental issues. One, instability, conflict, aggression, and threatening actions of the maybe the Iran, maybe some terrorist organization, maybe pirates, etc., threatening this prosperity, and hence because of this conflict and aggression, there is increasing instability in the region. So they talks about that in December 2013, the UK, US, and other partners joined in Operation Prosperity Guardian to defend and protect the commercial shipping in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. So target is what? To defend the shipping and maritime trade route in the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea. Then the Houthis are risking the stability of the very maritime trade routes that supply food and aid to the Yemen and are lifeblood of all our economies. They are saying that not only the economy is also a part of it, but also the humanitarian aids that has been shipped to these countries in need, this is also going to affect. So they are invoking some humanitarian angle, saying that we need to protect the humanity from destroying from these threats. Then there is a Ukraine conflict. It said that in this month, that is September, there will be the completion of 2 years where the special military operation has been launched by the Russia since the 2 years ago. But they are saying that the Ukraine is standing fast. Ukraine is standing in front of the threats, defending its democracy. And hence UK is also committed for this democracy and freedom. And hence until now, they have given a lot of funding to the, until now more than I think $8 billion have been given by the overall by the UK to the Ukraine, and they've again committed $2.5 billion. So that's what they are trying to say. For example, UK has supported the Ukraine continuously and will provide a 2.5 billion euros, right, in a military aid in 2024-25, making for a total almost 12 billion on a military, humanitarian, and financial support to the Ukraine. So almost 12 billion euro has been given by the UK only. Think about the US, think about the Germany, France, all the European countries are supporting Ukraine just to stand firm in front of the threat from the Russia. In this more unstable and more uncertain age, the need to invest in our strategic relationship is clearer than any. And I am heartened, therefore, the great strides the UK and the India are making. And hence they are saying, in this unstable situation, India and UK are coming together, recognizing each other as a strategic partners, and believing strengthening this relationship is a good factor or good thing to do. A shift in the center of gravity of the global economy is already under the way, and by 2050, it will sit firmly in the Indo-Pacific area. So UK also recognized that the shift of a global power in terms of economic development is already changing, and until 2050, it will definitely change and come back to the Indo-Pacific in up to 2050. Meaning, there are largely emerging economies are coming from the Indo-Pacific region, and they are taking over as a global economic powers, including, like, for example, China is taking over the US in terms of PPP. Even India is becoming third largest, replacing, already India has replaced the UK as a fifth largest economy, and it is in the verge of replacing the many countries that are come in the place of third, fourth, etc. So India is going to be third largest economy by 2049 or the 2050. And hence he is saying that the Indo-Pacific, the economic power is going to change and shift to the Indo-Pacific. Hence the India's relationship with India is going to be the more pressing issue. Then establishment in 2023 of the UK till the Indo-Pacific as the, so in this context, UK has recognized the importance and significance of Indo-Pacific region, and hence UK is attempting in such a way that the Indo-Pacific countries, particularly like countries like net security provider countries like India, will recognize UK as a strategic partner and involve in the operations in. Then there is a talks about some defense partnership between the India and the UK in terms of carrier strike groups has come already in 2021. Then there is a littoral strike group, means many ships are being deployed by the UK in in the surrounding Indo-Pacific region, where the India supported for their replenishment, food supplies, servicing, etc. in distress call, etc. Then electric warship propulsion, many electric technologies related to the fighter planes, ship technologies, advanced technology has been in the pipeline, or in the, there is a strategic collaboration between these two countries. There also talks about this new thing, that is officers from all three services of the Indian Armed Forces joining the British service academies as an instructor. They are saying that the Indian officers are now joining the British academies or British training institute as an instructors or the trainers for the British army. This is the very good thing. Now why is it is going to happen? It will help build a stronger relation between both the defense forces. It will help the harmonize. In case of a war, they can cooperate together very easily. Second thing, what is the benefit out of it from the perspective of UK will get a training inspector. You can say that UK didn't have it, UK have it, but the Indian officers have more experience in terms of the wars. They have been in the wars. UK doesn't go for war since 1942, means after the World War II. But India is going through major wars. India has gone through major wars. So Indian officers has gained some experience from that war, and hence they are been valuable to the. So this is all about the India-UK ties. Let's see some of the initiatives taken by the in this context in between these two countries. For example, roadmap to 2030. Launched in 2000, where it outlines the key areas where the India and UK can have partnership or collaboration. Then there is a FTA negotiation already going. Since the Brexit, Britain has been come, or UK has been come out of the European Union. There is a new economy that has come out of the European Union, and hence we have started the FTA negotiation with them. Then there is a migration and mobility partnership where signed in 2021, where the Britain has committed for the easier movement of the skilled professional between the two countries, so that the visas been granted efficiently. Then young professional schemes where 3,000 visas will be normally issued by the UK. Defense and security cooperation. Then climate and clean energy cooperation, culture and educational exchange cooperation. These are the some recent initiative. Next article. Then there is a next article that comes with respect to the European Union sweeping forced labor. Now understand the context behind it first. We all know that there is a Uyghur population in the Xinjiang province of the China, which is situated above the Tibet region, that is northwest part of China, where the Muslim majority province known as a Xinjiang province, there is a Uyghur population which is Muslim. Now, to curb the anti-national movements, in the name of curbing the anti-national movements, China has been targeting this population, restraining them, detaining them, and using them to the force the labor. But the concern here is that the United States has passed one law which says that Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. So these Uyghurs Muslim like population is being used and exploited as a forced labor by the different companies, and hence US has outrightly banned this, prevented this, and asked the companies which has origin in the US or US originator company like Google असेल, Tesla असेल, etc., to ensure that their suppliers or their companies will not employ any Uyghur population by forcefully. And this is where it comes into the picture, because there has been allegation by the like for example there is allegation on the Volkswagen, so where the Volkswagen owned brands vehicles imported in the US due to the ULFA violations. Xinjiang, the petrochemical plants. So these companies using this forced labor because they are cheaply available, because the China is incentivizing them, because China is using them. So in this context, they are been using this forced labor to gain some benefits out of it. But US saying it is illegal. It is not a right. Although we know that there is some target intention in perspectives of the geopolitics. The target is that protection of the human rights, protection of the democracy, and the curb of the China's rise. So in anyhow, the US's intention is to confront geopolitically with respect to the China from all the sides, right? So this is the one of the objective that is can be understood from the geopolitical policy, but it also implied to these kind of acts, right? So these companies has denying it, that they are saying we had no knowledge that for example, let's suppose Apple is supplying some products from the China which is based in the Uyghur population. Now Apple is saying that we do not have any idea or knowledge about who are the suppliers laboring, are they forced labor, or what kind of provisions they are be following. But this cannot be excused. Otherwise, USA Act says you will be penalized heavily. It has been alleged that even Apple has been lobbied heavily with respect to this act, when this act is under the advisement or under the consideration in the Congress or the Senate. Apple and its subsidiary has lobbied heavily so that its provisions will be smoothened down. So there is a allegation. Now this act aims to penalize the domestic firms for human rights violation. So this 2021 Act aims to penalize the domestic firms for human rights violation, including torture, arbitrary detention, and forced labor of some of the millions Uyghur Muslim in the country's northwest region, so-called intermittent camps for over a decade. Although China is saying that these camps are for skill development so that their human resource capacity will be developed and they will get a more and more employment opportunity, but we all know that this is the detention part to curb the anti-national activities, and hence US is saying that if any company employs these laborers forcefully or take detention or give the torture to them, they will be heavily penalized. Now what is the European Union legislation? Now European Union know that if we apply such a kind of law and says that the Uyghur population human rights will be violated, this can be challenged in a WTO, and WTO can say that it is a violation of the principles of WTO because you are discriminating against the one particular country. Hence European Union is deciding that it should be made a norm that any country or any company which employs the forced labor anywhere, like in the Europe also, that company will be penalized. So if they are using the human rights as a shield or tool, so that the companies which are employing the forced labor will be curbed and the action can be taken against them even if they are from the Europe. So European wide corporate sustainability due diligence directive says targeting social, environment and human right abuses in supply chains has also stalled since 2020. But actually it is stalled because it is applicable to the Europe as well. They are saying that ILO defined the forced labor and concentrate enforcement on large companies, and under the provisions of WTO and ILO, they want that this law should be enforced. So German proposal for national legislation on supply chain, then Britain's proposal, etc. So in short, they are saying that these allegations should be curbed, and the companies which are sourcing these forced labor should be prevented from doing that, so that the business will be shipped out of China and China will not take advantage out of it. So what is the background? So Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act is a United States federal law enacted in December 2021 aiming to prevent goods produced with the forced labor in China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The XU surveillance, cultural suppression, forced labor targeting the Uyghur population. Now, what is the objective? Pilas, prevent this forced labor. No one should, because it is against the democracy. Next, hold the China accountable for doing it. Yes, violating the human rights. Then third, protects the US consumers from it, because any product sourced from the US, sourced from the forced labor will be available to the cheaper to the US consumers, but they're actually damaging the market economy. Important provisions are rebuttal presumptions, meaning the law creates presumption that all goods made in this region are made with the forced labors unless company can provide clear and convincing, meaning they already presumed, त्यांनी ॲज्युम केले ऑलरेडी, कोणतीही कंट्री या रिजनमध्ये प्रोडक्शन तयार करत असेल तर त्यांनी ते फोर्स लेबल वापरलेले आहे until and unless that company provide and give detailed document that they are not doing it. So this is the rebuttal presumption. Then entity list. This act establishes an entity list of companies and entities suspected of involvement. त्यांनी एक लिस्ट बनवलेली की कोणत्या कोणत्या कंपनी सस्पेक्ट आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. अँड देन स्ट्रॅटेजी अँड रिपोर्टिंग. दे आस्क दी कंपनी टू रिपोर्ट अँड strategy of like employing this subsidiary in that region. Then there will be a sanction. If any country violates these norms, there will be a sanction on the companies. Then next, there is one article with respect to top court says that laws have the teeth but pollution control boards are the slack. There is an article on the Tamil Nadu State Pollution Control Board, but we will not be asked on the basis of Tamil Nadu. The question can be on the Central Pollution Control Board, which has been asked many times, CPCB, right? So 2-3 times UPSC asked this question in the prelim. Now what is they saying? They're saying that the Vedanta company actually has Vedanta's plant is been shut down in a Tamil Nadu, Vedanta plant, in 2018 on the grounds of violation of the environmental pollution norms. But they are saying that it is due to the neglect of the state pollution control boards. So court is highlighting that there is enough provision in the law that says that the central pollution control boards or state pollution control boards should have taken action, but it is the problem with these pollution control boards that they are not executing this law. So there is no problem with the law, but there is a problem in its implementation. So they are saying the same thing, that is, in our country it is not the absence of law but the absence of implementation, it's going to be issue. So they're saying that there are many reasons for it, because they do not have enough staff, motivation, they do not have enough resources, etc. But in this context we are going to see some background information about the CPCB. Now think this, what is the CPCB? It is established under the Water Prevention and Control Act, but it is also been in task with the given some extra power under Air Pollution and the Prevention Control Act. So they have been given powers, they have get the powers from both the acts, Water Pollution and Prevention Control Act and Air Pollution and Prevention Control Act. Under this they have get enough powers. Okay? Then established in response to the growing concern about the water pollution in India. 1974 ला त्यांना इस्टॅब्लिश केलेलं आहे वॉटर प्रिव्हेन्शन ऍक्ट अंडर, आणि एक्स्ट्रा पॉवर दिलेले आहेत 1981 च्या एअर पोल्युशन कंट्रोल ऍक्ट अंडर. मग इम्पॉर्टंट पॉवर्स काय? पहिली गोष्ट ऍडवायसिंग सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंट की कोणत्याही प्रकारच्या पॉलिसी for the policy making related to the pollution control. Then establishing, reviewing the national ambient air and water quality. They have to review, monitor, make the quality standards related to the water and air, right? Then monitoring and collecting the data for the pollutants. Next, inspecting the industry and enforcing pollution control regulation. And this is where the Supreme Court has highlighted the concerns regarding it, that these are not enough, they do not have enough resources to conduct the regular inspections at the industry level. So inspecting the industry and enforcing pollution control regulations, that's important. Then issuing direction and orders for the industry so that the pollution will be remaining under the control. Conducting research and development and creating public awareness. This has also been their task, that they need to create public awareness about it. So many times CPCB and SPCBs have taken initiative where they are displaying the air pollution norms, standards, what are the air standards, quality in the major public areas across the cities. What are the recent actions? Implementation of National Clean Air Program. National Clean Air Program, where it talks about the flagship program aiming to reduce the air pollution in 122 cities, non-attainment cities, meaning those cities which do not attain the standards of air quality that has been prescribed by the CPCB by 20 to 30% by 2024. So their target is what? The National Clean Air Program. There is a question in the prelim as well as in the mains on the National Clean Air Program in the GS3, right? So they said that we have to reduce the air pollution by 20 to 30% by 2024. 20 to 30% by 2024. So that's their target, right? Then there is the issues guideline for industrial waste management. So they have issued some new guidelines with respect to the management of the waste. Then developing emission standards for vehicles, like we know that the European based standards like BS1, BS2, BS3. So these standards been set by the CPCB. Then monitoring the water quality for major rivers, the Ganga, the Yamuna, right? So these monitoring of the quality, measuring the quality of the waters of these rivers. Then creating awareness campaigns. These are the some recent steps. Also, there have been the increase in recent steps with respect to the curbing the air pollution near the Delhi region, which we have already discussed last week, right? So next. Then there is one article from the yesterday which we unable to complete it. We will complete it now, right? So what did the article says? It articles talk about the dweller meaning the residentials, people, citizens needs within the four walls. So beyond shelter, what needs within the four walls? Meaning the article saying that there is a Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana going on, right? Which aims at increasing the quantity of houses that the poor should get. Barabar? Right. So they want to build more and more houses so that the people will get affordable houses, particularly poor section of the people, and hence their basic need will be fulfilled. But article saying that only constructing the house will not solve their problem, because beyond that we have to go in context of building the sustainable and affordable housing. That's the solution. Let's see it how. So here they saying that construction of a interim budget 2024, in this budget this year, finance minister say that the construction of 2 crore additional houses over the next 5 years under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. They had set target of it additional 2.5 crore houses will be constructed in the next 5 years. Introduction of a new housing scheme for the middle class. They also want to introduce some new housing schemes. Last year they introduced some rental housing scheme for the middle class as well. So writers saying that, authors saying that their housing for all initiative is very nice, right? Housing for all. But there is a 3 crore rural and 80 lakh urban affordable houses since 2015, and they are saying that they have been constructing and implementing towards the housing for all very effectively, passionately. Potential trade-offs, a quality of life and environmental balance. So they are saying that the issue here is the quality of life and environmental concern. We need to balance it. For example, this is evident in the case of affordable housing when the emphasis on mass production, prioritizing speed, cost, ease of construction over the factors such as thermal comfort and implementation of low carbon infrastructure. They are saying that always what we have did is focused on the quantity rather than the quality. Be it the education sector, we ensure that there will be a gross enrollment ratio up to the 100%, but we fail to ensure that there will be a quality of education. Similar way, under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we ensure that there will be a rapid number of increase in the houses where the cost will be low, the quantity will be high, that is mass production of the houses, prioritizing speed. They will be built at a very fast speed, so easily and quickly assembled, and the cost will be reduced, and at the same time ease of construction. There should be the easy construction, but we forgot one factor or two factor rather, that is environmental sustainability. One thing through the thermal comfort and other thing through the sustainable low carbon infrastructure development. Now let's see what are the concerns. Modern technology in affordable housing. Within the framework of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana mission, lighthouse projects are underway. Global House Technology Challenge, as a part of a Global House Technology Challenge. They are saying that under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, there is a lighthouse project is ongoing. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, there is a lighthouse project is going on. Lighthouse construction project is going on, which is under the Global Housing Technology Challenge. Global Housing Technology Challenge. What it means? It means to made or to construct a sustainable housing solutions using climate smart technologies or modern technologies. Climate smart modern technology, we have to introduce the technology so that our house construction and residential construction will be more sustainable and environment friendly, reduce the low carbon infrastructure or reduce the carbon footprint. In this context, they have leveraged the modern technology and innovative process to reduce the construction time, build more resilient and affordable houses for the underprivileged. So they have achieved the both. They reduce the time as well as they build more like affordable and eco-friendly houses, etc. Where they have talked about the Mivan initiative. Mivan, M-I-V-A-N, Mivan initiative, right? So under this, they have using some research advanced aluminum framework which is recyclable and reusable, so it reducing the cost of the housing as well. They have just given the one kind of example where the speed and the quality will be ensured at the same time. Has been ensured, quality has been ensured. Next, they talks about the higher efficiency and reduce the overall duration of the cost of the project. The extensive use of a cement and steel without proper insulation has caused or result in increase in heat gain from the building envelope. So they said that there is a huge amount of use of steel and cement at a rapid speed so that the house will be completely built within time period, but impact is that it is increasing heat in the within the four walls, resulting into more AC conditioning, more demand for the ACs and refrigeration demand, more cooling demand, result into more greenhouse gases, etc. So they are saying they increase the use of cooling appliances, increase the consumption of electricity, which is primarily now on coal based. So they are saying that instead of using cement, etc., which creates a environment where the heat is increasing, resulting into increasing cooling demand, cooling appliances, and hence electricity consumption has increased. So you should go for a sustainable solutions where the natural cooling will be preferred. Use of a lower efficiency appliances as well as the consumption resulted into greenhouse gases, etc. So they are saying that prioritizing the thermal sector, that is heat stress worldwide is anticipated affected various diseases, etc. Substantial increase in the demand for the cooling. Building houses go beyond the provisioning basic amenity by integrating passive design strategy, housing for all, along with broader vision of environment and climate goals. So they are simply saying that you have to club together these two factors, that is housing for all along with building a environmental and climate goals. So you have to bridge these two factors, then and then only affordable, PD, cost friendly, eco friendly will be ensured. And for that purpose they said that the Eco Nivas Samhita should be followed. So Eco Nivas Samhita talks about the framework that directs attention towards refining building envelope characteristic pertaining to specific climate zones, thermal compatible. So that these are the guidelines or code made for the residential houses construction, which is basically designed basis on the climate regions, right? So that they are considering the thermal comfort in that building code, which should government also follow. Then challenges lies in their implementation because of multi-state. So where the challenge is? Challenge lies in the fact that there is a multi-sector involvement in the construction sector. Like there is one land developer is, then there is a one supplier, the cement supplier is something, steel supplier is another one component, then there is a labor supply, construction company, then there is a designer company, then there is a other appliances, etc. So all these sectors are being involved, resulting into no one is being incentivized to go for an eco-friendly product. Even if I as a constructor decided that I will go for eco-friendly, there is no necessary that the suppliers which I have been sourcing material from has gone for the environmental sustainability products, and hence they're saying that for building the tomorrow environmental sustainable model, we need to address this environmental impact on this construction sector on the environment. So that's about it. Then the next, there is a woman of the Asha. We will go through the highlight. This is big article. Let's say some highlights of it. First thing, article highlight the some of the issues that have been faced by the ASHA workers. Particularly, what are their importance? Like India's healthcare system मध्ये त्यांचा काय important आहे, particularly rural areas मध्ये handling maternal and child health. First thing, so there are benefits in child health, maternal health. Then second, vaccination. Then there is a data logging, entering data, accumulating the health data. Then there is a palliative care. Then there is a domestic violence reporting also done by the ASHA workers and more. But they face prima facie triple burden. तीन type चे burden आहे. First, domestic course, they have to do their domestic works. Second, long work hours. There is work hour, there is no proper defining of a work hours for them, and overwork. They have to all do this, which is go beyond the healthcare sector, which is go beyond the child and maternal health, which they have primarily been designed for. So resulting into overwork, underpayment, and poor health among the ASHA workers. Also, they have been susceptible to the malnutrition, non-communicable diseases. Even the mental health concerns regarding the ASHA workers has been increasing. Then there is a issues related to anemia, sleep deprivation, and non-communicable diseases. These are the trends that has been observed in the ASHA workers. Even their wages are fixed, no incentives for the extra work, if extra efficient work, no paid for the overtime work, etc., resulted into their income losses and time losses. Then there is a lack of health insurance, they do not have any kind of insurance. Then there is a paid leave. If they want to, there is lack of paid leave. If you want to take a leave, the salary will be deducted, etc. They also experience gender and caste based discrimination. They also face kind of discrimination, even caste based, also gender based also, because many times they have to approach to the community which is of a particularly different background, and they face discrimination by the upper caste people dealing with them, right? So then there is vulnerability. Then fixed salaries and the benefits should be ensured, like limited works hour and the breaks would be given, recognition of the healthcare workers. So they should be recognized as a healthcare worker. That is the most important. But they are being sidelined so that they will should get health insurance, etc. This is very nice article. I will suggest that you should go on through it. Then we already talk about the space sector, but here today the author talks about the importance of these space sectors and what are the different kind of initiative government has taken in this context. For example, they talk about the financial, socio-economic, and geopolitical implication. They said that in this context that earlier it is been said that launching a missile or launching a satellite, these are the costly affairs which can afford only by the states, and private players has no role in it. But this myth has been now tackled, that the very much private sector players are been can be involved and can contribute effectively. In this context, I have already given one question yesterday, and here is the answer. There are some state-led reforms. Government has initiated some reforms with respect to the privatization of the space sector. For example, open space sector for the private companies. Then geospatial guidelines. They have given a geospatial guidelines. That is use of these guidelines, use of these geospatial data collected from the satellites for the commercial applications. Then there is an Indian space policy which talks about the commercialization of the technology owned by the ISRO, as well as the role played by the policymakers, as well as the role should be played by the regulators. Then there is the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Centers. Then there is a In-Space Center as a commercial authority, etc. Then they saying that there is an amendment to the Telecommunication Act so that the satellite data can be used effectively. Then now, and this recent initiative, that is FDI liberalization in space sector. So these are the cumulative effect resulted into the opening of a space sector and inviting the private players. And they also said that according to the in-space chairman, whatever amount of the world trade happen in the space sector, substantial amount of world trade happen with respect to the startups. The startups gain majority chunk of the whatever the transactions happen, meaning there are new and emerging startups along with the new and emerging technologies and innovation that are contributing effectively for the space sector development. That's what it talks about. Then there is a FRP. So there is an article on the 8% rise in fair and remunerative prices for the sugarcane. Now what do you mean by FRP and what is it? FRP is not a statutory price, like MSP is also not a statutory price, not mentioned in it, but it is mentioned in a Government of India under Sugarcane Control Order 1966, under which government declared the FRP. What is the procedure? This order empowers the central government to fix or revise the minimum price payable by the sugar factories to the sugarcane growers for sugarcane purchase during any sugar. They are, what their order says, this order empowering the central government such that central government can issue a order or fix the price such that this price should be paid by the sugar factories. Government is not paying that. Understand this. Sugar factories have to pay this MRP or this FRP to the sugarcane farmers, and here is the issue. Now what is the process of determination? CACP, Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices, CACP subcommittees basis on these different parameters decides the FRP every year, and this been given by the sugar factories to the different sugarcane farmers. Now what is the issue? Understand it. So 1966 order says central government can fix the prices, but what is the difference here? In the context of MSP, Food Corporation of India is procured and government gives this MSP to wheat and rice. So government is paying, but here center is just giving the FRP price. What should be the FRP price? Now sugar factories have to pay this price to sugarcane farmer, and here the issue comes. Many times what happens, the sugar factories defaulted because their commercially, like whatever the revenue earned by them and what they have to give under the FRP is been differential, and hence they have to get a loan, more and more loan, resulting into bankruptcy and default. That's the biggest issue now prevailing in the sugarcane sector, sugar sector. Then what is the comparison with the MSP? First thing, coverage. FRP is only specific to the sugarcane, but MSP are wider range of crops. There are more than 20 crops, right? Determination. FRP determines by the coincides with sugar recovery, meaning whatever the amount of sugar can be recovered, that is sugar recovery from the turn of a sugar, etc., turn of a sugarcane. So on the basis of that, you will be given, the FRP will be given by the factories. Also MSP is based on a cost of cultivation allows. Enforcement. FRP enforcement is stricter with penalties for non-compliance, while MSP enforcement is a less stringent, but FRP have to be followed. Issues kai? Delayed announcement, so already season has been passed. Then inadequate coverage. Then there is a non-compliance by the mills. Many times sugar mills do not comply with it, distribute the sugar. Limited linkage to the market prices. There is no linkage between FRP determined and the market prices. So FRP is also adjusted based on the actual sugar recovery achieved at the factory. So that's the issue also. Many times the farmers are unable to provide the quality that they have set, so that the price under the FRP will be given by the sugar factory, and hence we need to find a balance between the two things, where the farmers could get a remunerative prices as well as the sugar industry will be sustainable, and hence consumer will also get a sugar at an affordable prices. We have to maintain balance with respect to that. Then there is a today's article, right? So it again from the same Raisina dialogue, which talks about the India emerging as a bridging power in many ways, headed by the Jay Shankar, where he said that the countries from the South Africa or the South African countries or African countries are the South countries under the global South, meaning these two hemispheres, that is global North and global South, should cooperate together. They are already acting like a biased person, or they are making such a policy which are going to benefit to them only. In this context, the need of the hour is that the developing nations should come together and the developing nations should work for themselves. So that's all about this, and there is no fact that world trading rules have been, but overall argument is the same. The more important thing, which is the next one, that is, yesterday we have seen the India Middle East Europe corridor has been, the Greek has signed under it, and now today Albania. So Albanian capital काय एवढं लक्षात ठेवा प्रिलिम्स साठी, तिराना. Tiranga nahi, Tirana. This is Albania's capital. So understand for the prelims perspective. Now look at this. So this is the India Middle East corridor. So India, it will go from here UAE, which is signed under India Middle East corridor. Now Saudi Arabia is interested in signing it. Then there is a Israel hyperport, which is operated by the Adani group. So this is under the, then we are going for the Greece. Here is the Greece, and above Greece there is a Albania. So it is actually realizing India Middle East economic corridor. Now government has decided to open a consulate or commission here, or the mission. Mission means a consulate, diplomatic house, etc. Rajdutawas म्हणतो आपण त्याला, right? So India is going to open an embassy in the Albania so that this corridor will be realized even if there is a conflict between going on in the region. So actually this is how realizing the India Middle East corridor. So Albania is rising just above the Greece. This is the Albania region where is a Tirana. So that's more important, and India is promised that they will open an embassy over there. Then there is a next that important article comes with respect to the social media regulations. That is X, meaning erstwhile Twitter. We all know that Twitter. So what happened that India has issued many several blocking orders getting accounts posting about the farmers protest. So government of India has issued several orders to the Twitter saying that these amount of the accounts on the Twitter and the post should be blocked from the Twitter. But Twitter is for the freedom of speech and expression. Though there is a case ongoing in the High Court of the Karnataka. So Twitter is saying that we are not taking any further action regarding it until the case is settled, but they are saying that we are ready to comply with the orders under the social media guidelines, intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics in the context of India only. If anyone posted something, we will block it. If government objected to it and issue order regarding it, we will block it, but to India only, not beyond the borders. So that's what they are saying. Now also in this context, to gain some transparency, government has unveiled 4 web portals. Government has initiated or come with a new portals, particularly with respect to the first one is the name as a Press Seva, meaning all the newspaper in India will be registered here and they can have interaction between the Minister of Information and Broadcasting and all these newspaper transparently. Whatever kind of information will happen, information sharing, they can get videos, etc. They can get comments, views from the information. Then there is another portal which is named as Navigate. Navigate, meaning National Video Gate. So whatever kind of videos that, like for example, Prime Minister has gone somewhere and share some speech, etc., thoughts over there, that video will be published on Navigate so that all the media channels can get it, access it easily. All the media channels, all the TV, news reporter, current affair reporter, newspapers, all can get information from the government side at one single portal which is known as Navigate, where the all kind of videos release, even if they can be a kind of awareness videos also. Then there is another 2 portal. One is that the other portals for the registration of a local cable operators and transparent empanelment, media planning and e-billing system. Then there is another for the local cable operators. Local cable operators. And the last one is about media planning and e-billing. Media planning and e-billing. So whatever the transaction with respect to etc., advertisement, etc., that will happen through this portal. Meaning in this, from this and this perspective, it is very clear that India is intent to regulate the social media as well as media and not to curb it. Intention is that we should regulate it, and hence in this perspective India already has made guidelines with respect to the Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rule 2021, which talks about something like, for example, due diligence for the social media intermediary. Social media intermediary means Twitter, Google, etc., WhatsApp. These are the Facebook, which they refer as the special significant social media entry. Significant means which have major impact on them. Okay? Then subject to the additional due diligence requirement, then they're asking that there should be chief compliance officer, nodal contact persons whom we can contact. Then there should be a grievance officer where all the grievances of the persons indulging in that particular platform should be heard. The grievances of that person should be heard. Then there is the identification of originator, that is there like tick mark identification of the originator or the owner of that particular social media account. So account should be variable. Then there is a content regulation and removal. If any content found by the appropriate authority, असं नाही की ग्रामपंचायत सदस्याने आयडेंटिफाय केलं, appropriate like secretaries etc. or the high court etc. The appropriate authority found that it has been a violation of some particular rule, incitement to the violence etc., creating problem for the national security, international relations etc., foreign policy, public order, then they can be asked by the central government to take down that or to ban that post or that account for some particular period of time. They have to regulate that content as well. Prohibit, there is some list of a prohibited content. Then there is a proactive monitoring and the removal. There will be a proactive monitoring केली जाईल गव्हर्नमेंट तर्फे. युजर कंप्लायन्स असतील, ग्रीव्हन्स रिड्रेस. So chief compliance officer असेल means whatever the provision made in this act, they have to ensure that that compliance officer will ensure that all the government rules and regulations that should be complied with सगळ्यांनी ते फॉलो केलेले असतील. त्यासाठी एक ऑफिसर असेल. नोडल कॉन्टॅक्ट पर्सन म्हणजे काय की कोणाला तरी गव्हर्नमेंट डायरेक्टली कॉन्टॅक्ट करू शकतो असा पर्सन. सो ते आणखीन काही प्रश्न आहेत, लाईक फॉर एक्झाम्पल 90 डेजमध्ये तुम्हाला त्या ट्रेसेबिलिटी असली पाहिजे, व्हेरिफिकेशनचं युजरचं व्हेरिफिकेशन झालं पाहिजे, त्याच्यानं सोशल मीडियाचे ऑडिट्स पण झाले पाहिजे एक्सेट्रा. सो दीज आर द सम प्रोव्हिजन. दो it seems that it is we didn't take but it is a part of a more GS which you have already studied in your classroom courses. Although there are 2-3 more articles yet to be discussed, we will discuss in the subsequent discussion. Thank you for the today. There is a lot of coming from the yesterday and the today's newspaper which we unable to because of duration, otherwise it will be big board for you. So we will cover that in the subsequent days. Wherever there is a shortage of news, we will add that up and we will cover it. Thank you for the today. Thank you for listening patiently.